Okay, so I can credit the VA with an attempt to fix the system. In fact, the person that saw me told me the system isn't perfect. I said it's a far cry from what it was. Now, this woman happens to have a lot of people in the service in her family, and happened and used to be in the service, like former service, and she knows what people go through. So, from a personal angle, but again, I think the organization she's with is probably better than anybody I've seen. Again, my hearing would not have been this bad if I had received a hearing aid in 2013, and I honestly believe I should have had one. I don't know if the standard changed, or again, the deep state could be involved. I don't know, because their thing is to try to, again, it's metaphysical, but even physically, their idea is to refute anything that they can. Like, you're not really disabled, right? But because in law enforcement operations, certain operations are not supposed to be used against disabled people. It's obvious. It wouldn't even work. People with PTSD or panic disorder, that kind of thing, you can't use the psychological investigative techniques and have it work. So it's fruitless. It's like, why are you torturing somebody? So at that point, it becomes torture. I gotta figure out where to go shopping around here. Make it straight ahead. Because so she's saying the system is still questionable, and I'm saying, well, I'm telling you what, compared to what I used to go through, this is nice. Again, it's not about whether I received a disability or not. Again, I should, and she even agreed that the whole Desert Storm thing is bullshit. That you're supposed to receive it, but you don't. Right? They misled us. The idea was like, don't worry about it. If it ever disables you beyond a certain point, you'll just automatically get it. That's what they put out, but it was bullshit. And I told her about the biochemical explosions, and where suspected, use or whatever, that the CIA list. I said I was in a specific location where I know it was used. It wasn't used. It was blown up, but it's not on the CIA list. It was Iraqi. We don't know what it was. The people that did it, I don't know how the report got back in. I don't even know how they caught it, unless it set off the because they didn't tell us much, unless it set off the chem bio sensors. And you're trying to figure out what it was, and maybe you figured it out. And so if you see something with skull and crossbones, don't blow it up. I said, no, duh. And they go, well, Charlie Cuppet didn't know, duh. And they were like, maybe a mile away at the most. But if you look at Persian Gulf War bio, suspected application or whatever, exposure. That's the word. That's not on there. So I try, I said, back when I was in the army, it was an aspirin. You couldn't go to it if you like. When I was in Korea, I spent 7 days in the field with some ungodly disease. I mean, was that bad. I'd almost call it disease, but it was a bug or something, right? But later in life, I realized that bugs in Korea can kill you. I didn't know that. So I get out of the field. I stayed, and finally I said, I got to go over and see the PA because I'm sick, right? And I pushed myself through this patrolling thing. I remember doing so I was like deathly ill, and I aced the battle drills and all that. I'm a sapper leader, so I aced it really easily, but I was sick the whole time. Right? And I come up out of there, and it's like, I want to go see the PA. I go see the PA. So the PA gives me a day off. He gives me, he's like freaked out. And he goes, oh, I got to give you this. He gives me 2 big shots of stuff in my derriere. Because he was panicked. He's like, oh, this isn't good. You had it for how many days? And you're in the field. I was in the field. So apparently there are people that go out to the field and never return. They come down with something and die. But I didn't know that back then. So I get a day off, and they flame me for getting a day off. Needless to say, when I went into civilian government, I worked straight through being sick. I learned, they themselves, other people didn't have that, but I had that drive. So I said, you're not going to find in my file a lot of stuff in the military. And I said one of the most important events was the Persian Gulf dysentery, and it's just kind of a blanket term for something that happened. Oh, you got the 454 plates here, but I don't live here. But you used to. Hmm. Remember, I moved to Kansas, and I told you there were no plates, and then they all showed up. Again, it's not crazy man just seeing it. God's coming after you. That's what the CIA uses. She had some good things to say about CIA too. My kind of woman, already married. Yes. What do we speak about in VA disability appointments? CIA, of course. Where the hell is the other place? Is it across the street? I thought it was here. Oh, it's down the street. No, that's. I'm looking for Trader Joe's. Oh, that's further down. My Trader Joe's is further down. Right. This is where the UPS is, where I'm supposed to drop off my package that I can't drop off now, and I have to drop it off today. So I have to get this done and then go back to where I live. Yeah, it's cursing me hard. Hey, I don't want to hear it's related to this or that. It's a scam. It's related to nothing and everything. Is this an entrance? Oh, it's the entrance only. I'm not sure which way to get out of here. I guess this way because I'm going south. And the gas is more expensive down here. Right, so something to do with Arsenal, something to do with 101. It comes up as being like a warning of some. I guess maybe a prior service person, maybe not me. They always go, oh, he's talking about himself, just so they can come in and destroy my life again. Oh man, the government's got some of the nastiest women you ever want to see. Now the dudes are screwed up too, but man, just shitty face all day long. Oh, I'm a shitty face. Shit. up out of here. Get these sounds over there. See if I follow this issue. Yeah, thank you. You're making a left. I don't think that's the way I want to go. No, I got all that. Because she started, like, I'm like, she just saw my sinuses. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's a good day for me to be here. I forgot that's what part of it is. I totally lost track of what I was doing. And again, remember, they've been psyoping me the whole time. It's like, oh, he needs to get medicated. I mean, getting medicated, you're actually doing it. Right? The other, anything I say, it could be here or there. It's just a way to protect myself and keep the area clean around me. If they're not doing it, they don't do it. And if they're doing it, they need to stop. And that's the bottom line. It is happening. All right. This is weird. This on thing, there's this, our 6'2" in Korea's name was on. So every time I see on, I think of him. Didn't like the helicopter thing. I never seen anybody have that adverse a reaction in a helicopter ever. But it was lapping the earth, and it was probably his first time in a helicopter. Every time we go over, you know, it's mountainous, hilly in Korea. So every time we go over a hill, it'd be like a roller coaster, you know. You'd be like, ah! The other GIs were snapping. We had cameras back then. They were snapping photos of the whole thing. Well, weird part, he's supposed to be our interpreter. He doesn't speak any English. So it's a scam. He's rich family. He can't interpret for you. They can't barely understand us. But you like, you know, you want to get food when you're in the, you know, you're out in the woods. You're like, you know, chop chop, eat, and you do like you have a spoon, and it goes and it shows you, you know, he finds out, he talks to them about where we buy food in the, you know, the little village. So he's good for that, I guess. Where we buy our bowls of ramen and moon pies. Whole system's a scam. The entire system. But you know, Amazon's pretty good. If I told them, look, I didn't get it in. Dog ate my homework. They usually go, okay, we can have one more week. Sometimes they'll say, just don't worry about it. We'll give you the money back. So I haven't called them in a while. I mean, I do spend a good amount of money. My sinuses are just trashed. Like right after Desert Storm, you know, I should have went to the VA because I had insurance. I never did. It's like so, you know, later in life becomes a curse, you know. Right. Because everything would be in records. I was getting sick all the time. So the weird part was this: I'm getting sick. And then my wife's like, "You got it." I guess I got what? She's like, "Desert Storm syndrome or whatever." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know." Right. And then, so all of a sudden I get better, right? And then I somewhere along the way I start reading about this guy who treated the soldiers in Louisiana, and he was using vitamins, high level vitamin treatment with a lot of antibiotics and exercise. I did that. That's what I did when I left the Army. Those three things, you know, for at least a few years. I was always getting flus, so they kept giving me antibiotics. I still have the rashes. I can't grow hair on my head, or I have rashes. Even my face. I can't grow any hair on my face or I get a rash immediately. Even for like 2 days. Like if I don't shave. Actually, the beard doesn't. For some reason, the beard doesn't bother me, but like the side of my face. Oh, actually, no, there it is. There's a rash. See, it comes and goes. I've been explaining that for years to people. I went to a doctor. Well, not a doctor. I went to the VA community rep, and I told him, "Look, I think I'm going to beat it. It'll go away. It'll go away. I'll be okay." He's like, "Well, I don't know." He says, "This is the way it works, and then eventually it doesn't go away." He says that's how Persian Gulf works. It comes and goes, for a lot of people, and then eventually it doesn't go away. No, I got a rash. Maybe I'm in the middle of an episode. I don't know. But usually this little beard in the front and the mustache doesn't bother me, but like the side of the face and the head. No, not till after Persian Gulf. Nothing. Just like bodily aches. I had 0 bodily aches before Persian Gulf. And then when I remember the end of Persian Gulf going, oh, my knees hurt. What the hell's that? And it's actually the reverse. You have to keep exercising. See, and that's what I told them. That's why they attacked my exercising. It was the only thing that kept me healthy. I just said it, to people. I have to exercise, or my disability gets worse. But I do commend the woman that did the meeting and all that. She's not looking at causing issue, in any way. The other guy was just a rotten rat. Right? So I needed somebody like her back then. So they outsourced it. But I'm owed millions of dollars. I mean, CIA itself, the thing was just telling me CIA itself owes you $1 million. Not considering everybody else. Not like that's not the total you're owed. Right? Well, stay peaceful,